Welcome back. Time for our weekly segment, Speaking Legal with Will Worsham. Welcome back to the show. Good to see you again.
Thanks, Tom. Good to see you.
You know, we had a couple of viewer questions come in, and I know you're going to be answering one of them today. And a question was sent in from a young lady, and it was basically the idea was, I have put my boyfriend's name on the deed to my home. No longer my boyfriend. How do I get that name? Can I get it off of the deed?
Yeah, that's a common question. It happens a lot. You know, people decide to move in together, and it seems reasonable.
It's forever. It's your sweetheart.
Well, sure, you put both names on the deed, and now we've broken up. He's moved out. I put his name on there, so I just go take it off.
Yeah, pretty simple.
Well, it doesn't work like that.
I figured you were going to say something like that.
A deed is a document that demonstrates ownership. And so when you put someone's name on the deed, you say they now own this piece of property with me. They become your co-owner. So that's a very nice gift. Since it's Valentine's week, that would be a very nice gift to give someone essentially half your house.
Yeah.
So big problem. We don't want to do that to begin with. But the situation comes up. What can we do? The first thing you could probably do is ask nicely. If he will voluntarily agree to essentially deed that back, a quitclaim deed or something, that would remove his name from the house.
Okay, but see now right away you're saying ask nicely. That doesn't bode well.
No, because he's an owner of the house. He has
you have nothing to say at that point, in a sense.
You can't force him off without just compensation. It's a gift. So I don't have any right to demand back a gift. So we could sell the house. He would be entitled to half the proceeds. If there's a situation where we just can't negotiate an agreement for any amount of compensation to get that name off the house, and he's not willing to just give it back, you can go to court. You can get a judge to order, but the order is that the property be sold and the profits, if any, be divided.
Okay. You mean a judge can't say, yeah, you're right, this is a mistake, your name's off?
No, a judge doesn't have the right to do that because this was a gift. We gave that property away, so the judge doesn't have the authority to undo that. This is not like a divorce situation. There was no marriage, so there can be no divorce.
Because in marriage and divorce, aren't there like set guidelines for division of assets?
Yes, that's part of any divorce or case is the just division of the assets and debts of the marriage. But when there's no marriage, there can't be a divorce. We can't just come in and divide that property. So the key thing to remember here is when you put somebody's name on a deed, that's essentially a gift. You've given them ownership in whatever piece of property that deed represented. And so they either have to give it back or you have to buy it back. They get to be compensated for property that they now own. Okay,
but then there's no way to do... I'm thinking in terms of prenuptial, but nuptial is marriage, and we're not talking about... So you can't even...
Okay, theoretically, you could create a contract that might cover that situation. That's going to get very complicated.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
In that situation, you could create a contract which could convey that, but then drafting those terms and everything, upon what conditions does that contract kick in? Is that if I break up with you, if you break up with me, what if I don't agree to break up? You know, what if I wanted to stay together? Does it still give me a right to, I have to give back part of the house I've been living in?
This is really saying before you start signing or altering contracts, you probably should speak to a lawyer first instead of afterwards when it may be too late.
That's always the situation. It's so much easier and cheaper to get good legal counsel up front than it is to bring in a lawyer later to try to fix the problem.
So your advice would be, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Okay. If any of our viewers out there have a legal question, they can email wworsham@color10.com. And, of course, you're going to be answering these questions every Tuesday on the show.
That's right.
All right. So if you have those questions, start sending them in now. Good to see you.
Thanks, Tom.
For the advice. All right. After the break, Al's